TGC Requiem here. We're playing Death Shadow John. This is League Match 4. No lands, obviously a terrible hand. This is not great, but we do have some interaction. I really don't want to go down to 5. A lot of times the deck really needs some amount of resources to get going, so we will keep this hand here. Opponent kept 7. Really not in a huge rush to get that third land. I'm going to put this on the bottom. Sleight of hand, so we're probably looking at either like a storm deck or maybe like a ad nauseum, possibly one of the Grixis Reanimator style builds. Which means these fatal pushes are probably a little dead. So I mean, we can crack ourselves down to 14, play the bauble. But that doesn't really do a whole lot for us. I'm not sure we really want to be traversing. I think we're just going to crack the bauble here, take a peek at our own card, figure out if we want to keep it on top. We may keep it on top just to get a Death Shadow. So allow us to get our Death Shadow on board next turn as a 2/2, which is pretty terrible. So our opponent's going to take the best of 2 cards. Alright, this is a little something. If only we had a way to use a fatal push here. Start by taking a peek at our opponent's hand. Heretic Ritual, Merchant Scroll. Yeah, so this is definitely Storm. So Merchant Scroll is going to allow him to search up a Gifts Ungiven. May be the best thing to take. Though it may also just be better to kind of get him off of his rituals. He doesn't really have a way to combo off right now. Feels a little early to possibly, let's see, so search your library for a blue instant. So he does that next turn, gets Gifts Ungiven. So he's still able to go off without his rituals. I think at this point we really should be attacking his rituals. Gifts Ungiven's not going to do a whole lot. If he has to burn his ritual to cast a Gift Ungiven, kind of weakens him a little bit. So assuming he's going to go get a Gifts Ungiven here. The thing is if we, and I think he played a Steam Vents this turn, so if he goes and, I was going to say, if we get a Thoughtseize here, then we get to hit his gifts. Excuse me. The question we have right here is, can we traverse for anything worthwhile? I don't think we can. The question I'm kind of thinking is, if we Fatal Push for our Death Shadow, go get a fetch land with Traverse, play the other Death Shadow. The other Death Shadow is still only going to be 3 points bigger. It'd still be better to just cast them both here. We have a couple Fatal Pushes in case our opponent does try and land like a Baral, Chief of Compliance, or Goblin Electromancer. We know he has a Remand to bounce back the first spell. Looks like he's just going to go for it here. Go for the combo altogether. See a Manamorphose getting remanded by himself, possibly even to... Yeah, see, he's holding priority so he can remand his own Manamorphose. No, maybe not. Okay. Doesn't have that much mana. Alright, so he's just making a play for some Empty the Warrens here. Get some Goblins tokens, hoping to get a little wide of us. So with 8 tokens, I feel like we might as well just start casting these Fatal Pushes. Totally good with Remand here. So what we're really hoping to draw into now is like a fetch land. We could go get a Ghor-Clan Rampager. Excuse me. So where we are now, we can attack with both these Death Shadows. He's probably going to chump block with them. Puts him down to 5. We can play Traverse, Death Shadow. Or puts him down to 5 Goblins, rather. If he eats with 5, let's see, with 5 Goblins, we throw 2 more down. Still think we want the Ghor-Clan Rampager. I think we play out for Ghor-Clan, although if we get just another Death Shadow, well, either way, we're gonna lead off by running the shadows in. Thing is we could actually end up playing 2 more Death Shadow this turn, have the full set on board. That makes him have to chump everything next turn. The concern I have with that is Ghor-Clan Rampager actually just could win us the game next turn. If we let him swing in, I feel like we want to hold the Traverse, but yeah. So I think if he happens to... Okay, so we know he has a Gifts Ungiven. If he has the mana to kind of start chaining off his rituals, then that's a problem. As it is right now, though, if he attacks with all these goblins, we're in this situation where we can basically just lethal him back. So he's kind of stuck in this spot where he can't do much. If we traverse for a Ghor-Clan Rampager, then he knows we're going to strike back for lethal, and the blockers could be a little weaker. So, I don't know, I think we are better to hold off, use this Fatal Push just in case he hits an Electromancer. He's probably going to be holding Gifts Ungiven for his end step. He's got a Manamorphose on top, just going to filter for him. He's going to have to chump with all of these. I don't think traversing for anything prior to combat does a whole lot of good. It's possible we could traverse into a fetch land, which threatens two of these guys as lethal. But again, I think we're better to just kind of keep beating his creatures down. If he only has one goblin next turn, then we're a fetch land away from a Ghor-Clan being lethal. So I think we actually just keep this attack. We're playing a bit slow here. So we know he has a Manamorphose on top. He's going to cast a Gifts here, however. I think we're actually dead. I don't know if there's a whole lot we can do here. If he gets a Past in Flames, I mean, he can cast that. The question is whether or not he can get the mana going. We got to let him keep the Past in Flames in his hand. You got to basically put him on needing to have the mana ramp in hand. So we'll give him the Manamorphose and the Past in Flames, almost certainly, putting both of the rituals in the graveyard. Although the Past in Flames takes 5 to cast from the graveyard. We know where he is with mana, so if we make him actually use all of his mana to cast the Past in Flames, he can't actually do anything. The concern here, if we give him a Pyretic Ritual, he obviously can cast the Past in Flames and then get everything going. So we actually need to put the rituals, both the rituals in the graveyard, and we just have to hope he doesn't have any sort of ramp to get this going, because if he doesn't have the mana to cast any of the rituals once he flashes back or plays Past in Flames, that's kind of what does us good. Now that Stomping Ground is turned on the win for us if he doesn't have it. Okay, so he has a Brawl, so he's actually going to probably be okay here. Manamorphose, and then he's going to Manamorphose again. Well, no, he Gifts Ungiven the other Manamorphose away. So he had another Desperate Ritual in hand, so he's actually going to be okay here. He's going to get this. This is going to be a combo win. We're just going to F6 here and let him do his thing. So definitely didn't draw the right set of cards there. In this particular matchup. Alright, so he's going to gifts, go get his grape shots. Really doesn't matter the order we give him here. If we put a grape shot, excuse me, into his hand, it just makes the game, well, I guess either way. I'm at 9 life, so there you go, whatever. Finish this off. Seems like he's wasting time casting spells here when he could just be grape shotting us. Yeah, so he's just going for maximum value, and he can spend as much time as he wants doing that. He has the kill right now. So sideboard things we got to keep in mind is they tend to run the Madcap Experiment combo with Platinum Empyrean, so we want to be aware of that. Obviously, as we saw, Empty the Warrens buys him quite a bit of time. So we do like Collective Brutality here. He can kill one of his creatures, important creatures, while ripping a spell out of his hand. We absolutely want these Nihil Spell Bombs to help shut down his combo. Not worried about mana disruption. We do need a little bit of removal. I think we're going to grab probably a Maelstrom Pulse and an Ancient Grudge. We want removal that is going to handle the big guy. Big guy being Platinum Empyrean. Dismember is good. It helps speed our clock up while also handling his other creatures in Brawl and Goblin Electromancer. Also, it's potential that if we attacked in, we could potentially get away with an attack into a Platinum Empyrean if he were to stick it by using Dismember, post-combat or during combat, even possibly paired with a Ghor-Clan Rampager, so we like those. Tarfire is a little weaker. It's good for making us bigger, but it only hits one of their creatures, so while it is good to turn on the Traverse, there is some concern about it killing off their combo creatures because it does not kill Baral where Fatal Push does. I think we're actually going to pull the Tarfires out here. Liliana the Veil would be good. Kolaghan's Command, a little slow. We're not grinding him out in this matchup. I actually think we'll probably keep the Abrupt Decay just in case, just as a kind of one-off hedge against Remand, probably cut a Fatal Push, and probably Traverse the Uvenwald. A little bit weaker with this build after you pull the Charfires of being able to get to Delirium in time for it to be useful. Plus it's a fairly fast matchup, and so we may not have a lot of time to spend traversing for threats. So we'll be on the play here. This is much more in line with what we're looking to do. We're actually going to be able to turn one Thoughtseize. So Thoughtseize, Street Wraith, and a fetch puts us to 17, which means turn 2 Thoughtseize is going to have us with a Death Shadow on board turn 2. Easy keep here, especially in the matchup. Do have to be a little worried sometimes they can run. I've lost a match where my opponent drew 3 of his lightning bolts that he brings in from the sideboard, so that can be a problem sometimes. Something to be aware of. You also have to be aware of a turn 2 Blood Moon on occasion, so you got to be a little careful with fetching. But we're definitely going for well, let's see. Let's actually go, yeah, black-green. All right. So he has turn 2 Blood Moon. The question is, do we care? If we can take away, he doesn't have access to any blue mana, so if he ends up Blood Mooning himself, he could Blood Moon himself out of the game while we're still in a strong position, potentially. We definitely can Bloodstained Mire into Death Shadow next turn, and that could just carry us, and I think we're willing to take that risk, especially based on our opponent's hand. We're going to get a second chance to peek at the hand next turn and possibly take it then. So in the meantime, we're going to take Baral. He's a little more problematic than Goblin Electromancer. Although if we take the Pyretic Ritual, yeah, no, we definitely want to take his Baral and his Electromancer. At the moment, at least. Alright, so now we're actually in a position where we may want to just straight up fetch for the Shadow. I'm sorry. Fetch, play the Tarmogoyf. If our opponent then tries to rush out a Blood Moon, if we fetch for a green source, we're going to be in position to handle him anyway. Or fetch for a black source, rather. So the plan will be next turn to go for Thoughtseize Death Shadow. Alright, so now we're definitely just looking at snagging the Blood Moon and probably the Pyretic Ritual. And that puts him on this really slow draw where he's just going to have to chump block over and over. He really can't do anything with Pyretic Ritual this turn, so we're going to put the Shadow down right now. Even though it's only a 1-1, we're okay with doing this. He doesn't really have anything threatening in hand. Here comes a Brawl. So we're just going to leave him with the Past in Flames and 2 Goblin Electromancers. He's going to probably start chumping a little bit here. Going to do just enough that we kind of put the pressure on him to not be able to strike back at us. He can't cast the Goblin Electromancers without doing the damage to himself. If only we had something to throw the Ancient Grudge at. It's in a awkward position. I guess he could attack back for 3, puts us to 6. Play out one of his. No, then he's just dead to too many things if he can only block one of the creatures. So he could maybe decide to attack with one creature and then play a second one. He goes down to 5. That puts us to 7. Still puts him in a tough situation where he almost has to draw a bolt. Runs out of gifts here. I guess he does have access to 2 free mana on the 2 creatures. We know he has a Past in Flames, which he could technically cast now. So if you give him a Spire Bluff Canal, he can cast either of the rituals, which would allow him to cast Storm. I think we just kind of have to take one of the rituals, I guess. I don't know. We certainly aren't going to give him the land. He's going to have to chump block next turn, probably. Think this through. With what we know he has in hand, 2 Goblin Electromancers and a Past in Flames. He has to lead on Past in Flames next turn, which means he needs a Spire Bluff Canal. To be able to both... Well, I guess no. So if he has a ritual, Metamorphose only lets him net 1. Man, I really want to take the Pyretic Rituals. However, if he Metamorphoses, that would net him +1 mana. And that would allow him to get his rituals going, but I don't know that he can really do anything without a draw. We definitely want to throw the land in the graveyard. I think we actually throw the Metamorphose in the graveyard. If he ends up flashing back, spends all that mana to run up a Past in Flames, he doesn't have anything to do with it. So I think we actually take the Metamorphose away. Reduce the number of draws he has, although he's going to be able to get Gifts Ungiven. I don't know. This is a tough thing. Alright, so this is going to force him to at least chump with 1 creature. If he doesn't chump the Death Shadow, he loses. Really don't need to traverse yet. So again, he can run out some... I guess we run the risk. He does run out the ability. He has the ability to run out the rituals into Past in Flames, into Gifts Ungiven. So it's possible we're still just dead here. So Metamorphose and Gifts. He's got to run Metamorphose first to get his access to blue mana. So now I start running out the rituals. Whatever we put into the graveyard, he's going to be able to recast Past in Flames for 4 mana. So keep in mind that with the Past in Flames in the graveyard, whatever we put in the graveyard, he cannot cast with Flashback without recasting Past in Flames. The problem is we're already dead. So we're already at Storm Count 8. If he recasts Past in Flames, he can just recast Grape Shot immediately, and that's that. So it doesn't really matter what we pick here, so we'll just do that, and unfortunately we are going to lose here. Storm is a very flexible deck. Fortunately, he drew what he needed when he needed it. He had plenty of creatures, nothing we could do about that. And then drew a Gifts Ungiven at the right time. So while he continues to go off, I'm just going to go ahead and update the board here. So we, lose this one 0-2, puts us 2-2, 4-6 in this league. Actually not I don't know. It's possible the Ancient Grudge is not worth it. It's possible we just want to run the Maelstrom Pulse as the chance off. I don't know. I feel like the one over Ancient Grudge makes sense since so many people run that. Don't know that we could have really done anything a whole lot better. I'm trying to think back to that turn 2 where we played Tarmogoyf instead of Thoughtseizing to Death Shadow, and I wonder if Thoughtseizing there could have done us anything else. I don't know that it really would have done a whole lot more to go after the Goblin Electromancer there or not. I mean, in the end it may have made a difference, but he ended up drawing enough Electromancers that I don't know that it actually would have made a difference. I think we just got outdrawn, possibly in this one. If there was definitely a mistake that I'm missing, though, that you see, let me know. Otherwise, we'll be back with another match shortly.